For over 20 years, one aircraft has been the undisputed king of the skies, the American F-22 Raptor. It was a machine so advanced, so dominant, that most of its real capabilities have stayed a closely guarded secret. It was the ultimate symbol of American air power, a guarantee that the US would have air superiority anywhere in the world. But that era is ending. The throne is not so secure anymore. While the US was focused on the massive F-35 program, its rivals were catching up. And they were catching up fast. Today, China is churning out its own advanced stealth fighters, and Russia is relentlessly upgrading its arsenal. The balance of power, something that was once taken for granted, is now at a tipping point. To answer this challenge, the United States is unleashing its most ambitious, secretive, and expensive aviation project in a generation, the Next Generation Air Dominance Program. And this isn't just another fighter jet. It's a complete, top-to-bottom reimagining of how a country controls the sky. But in a world of rapidly evolving threats, will it actually be enough? To get why the US is betting hundreds of billions of dollars on NGAD, you have to understand the threats that keep Pentagon planners up at night. For years, the F-22 Raptor was the apex predator. But it was never supposed to rule alone. The original plan called for over 700 Raptors, a fleet that would have been big enough to guarantee dominance. Instead, production was famously cut short, leaving just 187 operational jets. This created a capability gap, and America's adversaries have spent the last 2 decades racing to exploit it. The biggest challenger is China's Chengdu J-20 Mighty Dragon. No longer just a prototype, the J-20 is a mature, operational stealth fighter that's rolling off production lines at a scary rate. While early versions were held back by older, Russian-made engines, they are now reportedly being fitted with powerful, homegrown WS-15 engines, pushing their performance much closer to what they were designed for. The J-20 is built for one specific mission: to punch through heavily defended airspace and hit the critical assets that Project American Power, think tankers, command and control planes, and aircraft carriers. It has advanced sensors, a high degree of stealth, and long-range missiles designed to take on American jets from a distance. Then you have Russia's Sukhoi Su-57 Felon. Its development has been slower and people still debate its true stealth capabilities, but the Su-57 represents a different philosophy. It blends low observability with wild maneuverability and a powerful suite of electronic warfare systems. Russia is also gaining priceless experience with the Su-57 in real-world combat, using that feedback to create enhanced new variants. This new generation of rival jets exposes the limits of America's current fleet. The F-22, for all its power, was designed for a conflict in Europe. It lacks the raw range needed to be effective across the vast distances of the Pacific without a lot of tanker support. The F-35 is an incredible, multi-role flying computer, but it was never meant to be the pure air-to-air dogfighter that the F-22 is. So the problem isn't just about one plane versus another, it's about numbers, range, and a strategic map that has completely changed. The rise of these competitors means that for the first time since the Cold War, undisputed American air superiority is no longer a given. The Pentagon's answer to this challenge is the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD. And the most important thing to get is that NGAD is not a single airplane. Calling it a fighter jet is like calling an aircraft carrier a boat. It's a total misunderstanding of the concept. NGAD is a family of systems. It's a team of interconnected platforms, both crewed and uncrewed, all designed to dominate the battle through overwhelming information and distributed firepower. It's also important to remember this is the Air Force's program. The Navy is working on its own, separate but related, program called FA-20. At the heart of the Air Force's family is a 6th-generation crewed fighter. On March 21, 2025, the Air Force awarded the contract for this centerpiece aircraft to Boeing, officially designating it the F-47. This was a seismic event in the defense world, breaking Lockheed Martin's long-held monopoly on building America's stealth fighters. The F-47 is designed to be the quarterback of the sky, a penetrating counter-air platform built to fly into and survive the most heavily defended enemy airspace. But it won't be flying alone. It's the central node, the command center for a swarm of robotic wingmen. This is where the real revolution starts. It's called the Collaborative Combat Aircraft Program, or CCA. These are not the simple drones of the past. CCAs are highly autonomous, jet-powered wingmen designed to fly right alongside crewed fighters, controlled by the pilot in the F-47. The Air Force wants to get its hands on over 1,000 of these CCAs, teaming them with both the new F-47 and the existing F-35s at a ratio of about 2 drones for every 1 human-piloted fighter. This system of systems approach totally changes the math of air combat. Picture a single F-47 pilot pushing deep into enemy territory. They aren't just one target anymore, they're the commander of a small air force. They can send their CCA wingmen ahead to scout for threats, use them as electronic jammers, or have them carry extra missiles, basically turning the F-47 into a flying arsenal. If an enemy fires a missile, the pilot could order a CCA to intercept it or even act as a decoy, sacrificing the cheaper drone to save the priceless pilot and their much more expensive F-47. It creates a distributed, resilient, and deadly network that is so much harder for an enemy to deal with. So what makes this new family of systems a real generational leap? It all comes down to a handful of revolutionary technologies that, when you put them together, create something incredible. First up, the manned platform, the Boeing F-47. A lot of the details are still top secret, but we know it's being designed with new priorities. Where the F-22 was all about dogfighting agility, the F-47 is being built for massive range and payload, to solve the problem of distance in the Indo-Pacific. It will feature next-gen stealth, making it even harder to spot than the F-22 or F-35. The entire jet has been developed using digital engineering, creating a virtual twin that lets engineers rapidly test design changes and upgrades. In fact, secret prototypes for the program have already been flying for years, testing these concepts far from public view. Second, and this is probably the most transformative part, are the collaborative combat aircraft. This isn't science fiction, it's happening as we speak. The Air Force is already in the critical ground testing phase for the first batch of CCAs, with companies like General Atomics and Anduril building prototypes for flight tests expected later in 2025. These aren't just flying missile trucks. They are semi-autonomous platforms designed for all sorts of missions, from surveillance to electronic attack to air-to-air combat. They represent affordable mass. The Air Force can build and use them for a fraction of the cost of a crewed fighter, which lets them build a bigger fleet and take risks they never could with a manned jet. A production decision for this first batch of CCAs is expected in fiscal year 2026, which means these robotic wingmen are just a few years away from being a reality. Third is the brain of the whole operation: artificial intelligence and sensor fusion. The amount of data flying between the F-47 and its drone wingmen would be impossible for a human to manage alone. This is where AI becomes the ultimate co-pilot. It will fuse data from every sensor in the network: the radar on the F-47, the infrared sensors on a CCA, electronic intelligence from another, into one clear picture of the battle space. This lets the pilot make faster, better decisions than any opponent. It's all about achieving decision superiority, seeing, understanding, and acting before the enemy even knows you're there. And finally, the heart of the new fighter: its engines. The goal for the F-47 is to be powered by adaptive cycle engines. In simple terms, these are like hybrid jet engines that can reconfigure themselves in mid-air. With the flick of a switch, they can go from a high-performance mode for combat to a high-efficiency mode that sips fuel, dramatically extending range. This technology is the key to unlocking the kind of range needed for the Pacific and is a huge leap forward. Creating this revolution sparked one of the most intense competitions in defense history. The two titans of American aerospace, Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works and Boeing's Phantom Works, went head-to-head for the contract to build America's first sixth-generation fighter. For Lockheed, it was a chance to continue its legacy. For Boeing, it was a chance for a historic comeback. The competition was brutal, with both companies secretly building and flying full-scale demonstrators. In a shocking decision, the Air Force chose Boeing, citing the best overall value for its F-47 proposal. The award, potentially worth hundreds of billions of dollars over the life of the program, has re-energized Boeing and reshaped military aviation for decades. But this kind of capability comes with a staggering price tag. The NGAD program is the most expensive thing in the Air Force's R&D budget right now. The initial development contract for the F-47 is around $20 billion, but that's just the start. The Air Force plans to spend tens of billions more through 2029 just on development. The cost for each F-47 plane is expected to be in the multiple hundreds of millions, with some estimates hitting $300 million per jet, almost 3 times the cost of an F-35. The huge price tag actually led to the program being paused and reviewed in 2024 to make sure it was affordable, but the conclusion was clear: the capability was essential, no matter how daunting the cost. This level of spending is a massive gamble, one that bets on all these complex systems working together perfectly. It really makes you ask critical questions about priorities and the future of defense. If you find this kind of deep dive into military tech and strategy fascinating, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what we break down next. When you place this NGAD family of systems on the global chessboard, you really start to see its strategic importance. This isn't just about building a better fighter, it's a direct counter to the military strategies of China and Russia. Both countries have invested heavily in what's called anti-access/area denial, or A2/AD. They've built dense networks of advanced missiles and sensors designed to keep US forces far away, making it too dangerous for carriers and older fighters to get close. NGAD is designed to smash that bubble. The long range of the F-47 means it can fly from bases much farther away from these threats. Its next-gen stealth allows it to slip through the most advanced radar nets. And the whole CCA wingman concept gives defenders an impossible choice. Do they target the dozens of cheaper drones, or the one high-value manned fighter? How do you even track all those targets when they are all networked and coordinating their attacks? This completely flips the script. It reestablishes America's ability to project power anywhere in the world and makes sure no airspace is truly off-limits. For American allies, NGAD will be a game changer. While they may not fly the F-47 itself, the technologies and tactics, especially with CCAs, will eventually filter down and shape the future of coalition air power. Fielding the world's first true sixth-generation system is meant to put America's competitors on the back foot, forcing them to react and spend billions trying to counter a threat they don't even fully understand yet. It's a move designed to lock in a qualitative edge for the US and its partners for the next 50 years. So, let's circle back to the big question: will America really dominate the skies with NGAD? On paper, the answer is a definite yes. The NGAD family of systems is a leap in capability so big, it's like the jump from propeller planes to jets. The combination of a sixth-gen manned fighter, a swarm of smart robotic wingmen, advanced engines, and an AI-powered network is a recipe for air superiority that no other nation can currently match. It's a decisive response to the rise of powerful competitors. But, dominance on paper and dominance in the real world are two very different things. The road ahead for NGAD is full of risks. The program's biggest vulnerability is its incredible cost. At a potential $300 million per fighter, and a total program cost that will soar into the hundreds of billions, it will be under constant budget pressure. Any major cost overruns or delays could threaten to cut the number of planes the Air Force can actually afford to buy, which would be repeating the exact same mistake made with the F-22. And the technological complexity is just immense. Getting the crewed F-47, the uncrewed CCAs, and the AI network to all talk and work together seamlessly in a hostile, electronically jammed battlefield is a monumental task. Success depends on flawless execution, from the engineers at Boeing to the software developers at Anduril and General Atomics, and the pilots who will have to write the playbook for this new kind of warfare. NGAD is America's high-stakes bet on technology. If it works, it will secure the skies for a generation. If it stumbles under its own weight and complexity, the era of American air dominance could truly be over. The race for the future of air power is on, and the whole world is watching to see who wins. But I want to know what you all think. What do you see as the biggest challenge facing the NGAD program? Is it the price tag, the technology, or the threat of our rivals catching up? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.